Stan, here we are. There we go. Bit of light on the subject. Stan, here we are. So, yeah, military time again. So, obviously, helmets are a big favourite of mine, and this is a video about the Bulgarian M36 helmet. And I've had 5 through my hands at the time. I've traded one out to a good mate of mine, John Shanahan. But it's just I want to do, obviously, the helmet videos, a lot of them have gone now, and I'm going to have to redo them all, and I'm just going to try and lump them all together. I've just got another one. So, Bulgaria in World War II was neutral until the 1st of March 1941. It was allied to the Axis powers until the 8th of September 1944. I'm going to read out a brief bit of history about what happened to them in World War II, simply because I think these are the least desirable on the collector's market of the Axis powers helmets. Whether that'll change in future, they'll probably always still be the least desirable, but whether they will get more collectible as time goes by, probably, maybe. So, Bulgaria declared war on the UK and the US on the 3rd of December 1941, and the Allies bombed Sofia and other cities because of that. They did not participate in Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of Russia, and maintained diplomatic links with the Russians throughout the war. Despite this, the Bulgarian Navy was involved with skirmishes with the Soviet Black Sea Fleet. The army itself, the occupied area, it was basically like they were allied to the Germans. I mean, you can read more about this. There's not enough time for me to do a whole video about Bulgaria World War II. It was like a land grab. There were certain areas they wanted back which they thought belonged to Bulgaria. Basically, they gave the Germans free passage to come through their country and do what they liked, and to get the land they wanted. And they were involved in anti-partisan and anti-access resistant groups, putting them down, making sure they weren't raising their heads. And there was a Bulgarian resistance to the involvement with the Germans. Tsar Boris III, the head of state, died aged 49 suddenly after visiting Germany. Suspected poison, but no, it has never been proved as far as I'm aware. Bulgarians participate in the Holocaust. They agreed to supply Germany with 20,000 Jewish captives. I've been reading it online. I've never read a book about Bulgaria and World War II. I'm going to have to try and find one, suss one out. There is a YouTuber, far more popular guy than me, a lot more subscriptions. History Hustle, he's called, and that's History Hustle. He's a Dutch history teacher, and he's done a few shows, videos on Bulgaria's involvement in the Second World War, and some of the things they got uprisings they put down in occupied areas, and they were up to all the despicable acts that the rest of their Axis pals were up to as well. Just they didn't invade Russia. They occupied areas of Greece, Macedonia, Thrace. I mean, they rounded up Jews and sent them to camps at Treblinka from was it Serbia, I think. Anyway, and the whole country was in. So look, where's the date? Yes, okay. 8th of September 1944. The Red Army were approaching, and basically they swapped sides, and they remained under communist influence till 1990. The equipment they had were Italian tankettes, French tanks, Panzer IVs. They had Lugers, P-38s, MP-40s, Steiermanikler 1895 rifles, Mosin-Nagants, K-19Ks, a lot of German stuff. There was a name for the military material assistance that the Bulgarians got, and I couldn't find it on the internet, so there you go. So all in all, a blotted copybook, I suppose. They did. A lot of people probably wouldn't know about Bulgaria's involvement in World War II, but they were on the German side, and certainly were involved in a lot of unpleasantness. So yeah, so let's on to the helmet. So in World War I, they used the M1916 German helmet until the end of the 1930s. 1936, the new design came out, and it was made by, I have to excuse my pronunciation, Sandrik in Dolna Hamra and Broeder Gottlieb von Brauchbeer in Brunn, home of the Bren, or where the influence of the Bren came from, Czechoslovakia. And it was also made in Eisenhüttenwerk, Thal, in Thal, Germany, a press was imported from Germany later on to Bulgaria and installed at the military works in the town of Kazanlak. The M36C, I believe, is still in service as the M36 51, but it will be getting phased out soon. So on to the helmets. I will just have to take a light. I'm back. Right, so I'm going to do this sort of backside first. They come in three types: M36A, M36B, M36C. M36A, M36B, and the two at the back are M36C. Now the M36A usually lives under a reproduction SS camo cover on a setup I've got in my man cave. I cannot claim the idea of that. Military Collectibles came up with the idea. Very good idea. It is too, because these helmets have a Germanic shape about them. Now we'll take the M36A first. Excuse me, wind. So as you can see, there's like a brim, like a ridge pressed into the helmet that goes all the way along the back. Now, again, people sometimes, you know, watch videos on YouTube where guys are taking pot shots at steel helmets and they say, oh, it's not designed to stop bullets. Yes, we know this, but I have read, when I've done all the helmet reviews of certain companies, when they make a helmet, they actually shoot 9mm pistol rounds at it just to see what it's capable of stopping. Now, the M36A has the vent holes as per the German helmet, but they're like sort of in between the World War I and World War II helmet, if you like. Heavy rivets on the side. And the giveaway for the M36A is it has a turned over, folded over edge. It's not a raw edge helmet. So they're quite well made. This is actually an M36A/51. And how it's designated by that is it's a pea green colour. So after 1951, they were painted pea green and they were installed with this sort of like Italian liner. The helmet after that, is it M51? Can't remember the other. I've got another one. I've got them. They'll come in another video. They have a similar liner inside, and they are like the Italian helmet. So that's me going forward now. I wouldn't get another one in post-war condition simply because I've got one, and I think I would rather go for the slightly rarer ones in World War II condition. But it's nice to have one in this configuration, so I know what it looks like. Move on to the B. How can you tell the B? Well, the B has a raw edge, as you can see there, not turned over, and it has. I'll turn the M36C round. If you can see in the distance, this has still got like a heavier rivet set out here. There, that's how you can tell the B, because this here, and also inside, it doesn't have any metal suspension brackets. This one, the liner is different from the other two, but I believe that is period. Now I don't know whether this has been sprayed post-war. I mean, I think from what I read, that basically when they sided with the Russians after the 8th of September 1944, they just used the Panzer IVs, just sprayed red star on them. Same with the helmets. I don't know what period this is from, and I'll show you why. I thought initially it was World War II, but I mean, you see, this has got, I forgot about that, a great big splattered on the back soldier's name. Get the Osprey book out. Here it is, bear with me while I flick through the pages. There we go. So you can see that chap there, he is Corporal of the Bulgarian Motorised Rifles. Check out his decal, it's in the wrong place on this helmet. I'll move the M36A, let's put it over there for now. Near a cat, get over there. You see, it's like, it's to the left of the rivet, whereas this, it's actually underneath. So, whether this is, it's obviously a post-war, because the red star's been painted on it, but whether this is, it's definitely prior to the M36 51, because it's got the old relic-y liner in there, which I believe is slightly different from the other ones. Nice original chin strap. I do like that helmet, and I didn't pay a lot for that one. So we'll move on. M36C. This is the one that's in the most relic condition, if you like. I cannot see any remnant of a decal on here. You can see the original colour. This is in original colour. I'm quite surprised how these surface these M36 helmets in the original World War II colour. I don't know how that would be, considering I would have thought they would have painted them all up straight after the war. But this has been burnt. Something on there has been going on with that. But it's a nice. It's nice that I do like that. You can see the liner in there. I put the boot cord in. Bulgarian M36 helmet, original paint liner. Put the new drawstring in, and you can see the suspension brackets there. That designates it as a C. So the liner, I'll hold the other one up again. The rivets on a B, you see the difference? And also a B has one at the back, the C doesn't. So there you go. That's how you know the difference. Yeah, that's a nice original helmet. That where that being kept, who knows? And I just bought the other day. Oh, hold on. Lack of room. I bought this the other day from those great people, the Centre of Britain Army Surplus, which are now called something else, I think. Military surplus from around the world, I think that's what they're called. I'm just checking the visor out. I think that visor looks a little bit shorter. Do you think? Hard to tell. Could be a little bit shorter, that. There is one with a shorter visor. Could be it. So this again, no rivet at the back, so you know it's a C. The smaller rivet here, none there. Again, in original paint, hasn't been sprayed after the war. Nice original condition, probably been stored. Another helmet on top, the paint wear, you can see. This one, it probably won't come up on the camera, but I can see a point underneath there. Can you catch that? Like a shadow of a decal. Don't know why they were taken off. These, I have seen them with them on. Again, underneath. Chin strap slightly different. Original liner with plenty of soldiers graffiti on the inside. Another nice original untouched World War II helmet. Now, so why should you collect them? Well, you know, my ultimate aim is to get an M35 and M40 German helmet as a centrepiece. Apart from that, I wouldn't want to be spending £1,000 on helmets. Obviously, me naming my channel, I enjoy collecting combat helmets, steel helmets, and the more that this hobby goes on for me, the more I'm interested in. I feel it's my duty to get an M35. That makes sense. There's so much interesting equipment out there, so much interesting, like helmet wise, that I didn't even know about 10 years ago. These are a prime example. They are still relatively cheap. I paid just recently £50 for that helmet there. That is more than I've paid, I think, in the past, definitely. The price is going up. Well, everything's going up, isn't it? So I don't know whether that's reflected in. I know that the Centre of Britain Army Surplus, when he had the shop, which he no longer has, I went into his back room, and he had piles of Adrian helmets, piles of these. Mainly they were the coloured communist post-war ones. The shop's gone now, and I notice is what he's selling on eBay is less and less, because he probably won't have as much storage. So these are drying up. They are still available from Bulgaria, obviously, but I saw one as cheap as £25, but it was £30 to get it here. So in there lies your problem. If I was a helmet collector, even if you're into high-end stuff, I'd get one. Try and get a World War II one with the original liner. It was part of the World War II, and what it's done for me, it's made me look into that side of history, which I probably never would have done. So I'll just put it back over there, and I'll put that one next to it, and I'll get the B, and we'll get the A, and we'll just have a little recap. So I think the holy grail for these helmets will be with M36A in World War II setup. So the oldest one is obviously M36A. That's in post-war paint job with the post-war liner. Tell the difference, it's got a rolled edge, it has the heavy rivets. The B, raw edge, heavy rivets again, rivet at the back. Actually, while I'm looking there, didn't realise that the M36A doesn't have a rivet at the back, has two. So there you go, there's another difference of that and the B. M36C, the two at the back there. Raw edge, less bulky rivets, no rivet at the back, and suspension brackets on the liners. So that's my collection of Bulgarian M36 helmets. And I probably, if I was at a car boot sale or an antiques fair and I saw an M3651, the pea green one, if it was for around 20 quid, I'd buy it. Otherwise, I would always now go for the World War II type, simply because I've got the post-war Cold War one, and I've also got the next model that comes after it, the Bulgarian M52. I'll do a video on it. I've got a police helmet of that MP police and a normal standard helmet. So that's me talking for nearly 16 minutes, and I'm not rolling out doing another video yet. I don't know yet. I might do, not today, maybe tomorrow. So this is Stan, and that's my Bulgarian M36 helmet. See ya!